a new home. One of the top free agents left on the board this morning, staying in the AFC West and joining the Chargers after 9 years with the Broncos. So LA's defensive backfield will consist of him, Casey Hayward, Desmond King, Derwin James, and Nasir Adderley. That's a pretty good group. As for Malcolm Jones, whose option was not picked up yesterday in Philly, he is headed back where it all began for him in New Orleans, the team that drafted him 14th overall back in 2009. Sean Payton has called their decision to let him walk 5 years later one of their bigger mistakes, one they rectify today with a 4-year, $32 million deal. Andrew Whitworth is returning to the Rams. The veteran left tackle agreeing to a 3-year deal, according to Tom Pelissero. Conjecture here that contract length might be for cap purposes. Big Whit turns 39 this year and has in the past contemplated retirement. Jarrell Casey is headed to Denver via trade. The Broncos sending Tennessee a 7th rounder in return for the defensive tackle, who carries a pretty high cap number, $12 million, which now goes to Denver and clears up some space for the Titans. As for the Broncos' plans to absorb that number, Ian Rappaport is reporting that Denver is likely to release Joe Flacco, which means that he would become available via free agency. Denver moving forward with Drew Lock as their starting quarterback. Bit of a trend emerging in Detroit, where the Lions are stocking up on former Patriots defenders, most recently traded for safety Deron Harmon today in exchange for a late-round draft pick swap. Also signed defensive tackle Danny Shelton in free agency, a 2-year deal worth $8 million, and they already agreed to a deal with linebacker Jamie Collins on Monday night. So Lions fans might want to take a closer look at some old Patriots games to scout their new guys, and they can do so starting today. The NFL made NFL Game Pass available for a free introductory offer for a limited time. Understanding everyone's at home looking for stuff to do, so you can now access former Super Bowls, full game broadcasts, coaches film, old Hard Knocks episodes, all of it for free at NFL.com/Game Pass. But do that after total access, because Mike Garafolo's got an update on the running back market for you right now. Haven't seen much movement, Mike. Why's that?
Well, tough sledding, and a lot of times it's tough for running backs, period, in the free agent market. We know the short shelf life at the position. But I start with Derrick Henry, to be honest with you. His tag wound up being $10 million plus when it was expected to be a couple million higher. He's got to be frustrated knowing the top of the market is 15. But elsewhere, the guys that are actually free, not tagged, Melvin Gordon last year turned down a multi-year deal with the Chargers worth $10 million plus per season, wound up holding out, got fined while he was holding out, and got some advice, I think, to take a hard stance on that and not take that deal. I'm guessing that he probably would go back in time and do it at that point, because I just am not getting the sense that he's going to get anything close to that deal that he could have had last year. Devontae Freeman cut by the Falcons. Haven't seen much movement on him. He plays a physical style of football, so it could be a question about how much football he's got left in his body. Tended to be a bowling ball early in his career. And then I look at Todd Gurley, a guy that could be available via trade. And the one thing that's going to hurt Todd Gurley is that teams are going to want to take a look at him and see what's happening with his knee and know why was his workload limited the last couple of years. That could be the biggest roadblock in the possibility of a trade, because teams can't get these guys in for physicals right now. So we'll have to see if a team is either willing to look past that or someone waits until they can finally take a look at Gurley down the line and maybe see a trade then.
Thank you very much, Mike Garafolo. That's the running backs still on hold. More on the quarterbacks now. QB20 with Bucky Brooks, one of our draft analysts here at NFL Media, adjusting to all of these free agency moves just like the rest of us. Let's start with the Patriots, whose lot in life has changed pretty dramatically in these last 24 hours. Do you anticipate a change in draft plans for them because of that?
I think that their draft plans certainly could change with Tom Brady moving on to Tampa Bay. Here's the thing. Bill Belichick learned from Bill Parcells, and Bill Parcells had a rule of drafting quarterbacks. 7 criteria. He wanted guys that were 3-year starters, senior players, college graduates. He wanted them to complete 60% of their passes, have 30 starts, have 23 wins. And so when I look at this, there are 2 guys that fit that criteria in this class. Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts. I'm going to focus on Justin Herbert because I think in the first round, I think the Patriots may make a play for the guy from Oregon. And this is why. He's big, he's talented, he's obviously smart. He orchestrated a turnaround at Oregon where they were below 500 when he got there, led them to the Rose Bowl with a victory and a Pac-12 title. And when I look at his game, I think his game absolutely fits. He's athletic, does a great job of working the ball all over the field, can make plays with his legs. And then when you think about the nature that they love at quarterback is typically a cerebral player, someone who takes care of the football. Justin Herbert does that. I think he is someone that is definitely on their radar.
Big question for him and them, though. Will he be there when they pick 23rd? Don't have another pick again until the 3rd round. Patriots not the only team affected by Brady's decision to go to the Bucs. Chargers also tried to get him. And now that they didn't get him, Ian Rappaport is saying that they will move forward with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback. He says they are not expected to sign or trade for a veteran quarterback, which I would imagine means that they are expected to draft a quarterback. Do you think that that is now a lock at 6 for them?
Well, I think it could be because they've made some moves in free agency to shore up their offensive line. So it really opens up the board for them. I think the quarterback that they would love to have, how about Tua Tagovailoa? If Tua Tagovailoa from Alabama checks out from a medical standpoint, I think he is the perfect quarterback for the LA Chargers. He is dynamic. I kind of liken him to a left-handed version of Drew Brees. Quick decision maker, quick release, big-time arm, outstanding leader. When you talk to the people down in Alabama about his leadership and intangible qualities, he has everything that you look for in a franchise quarterback. If the Chargers have an opportunity to get Tua, I think Tua is the perfect fit for how they want to play and where they want to go.
What if they don't have an opportunity to get him? Because they pick 6, he could be gone.
He could be gone. So another quarterback to think about. How about Jordan Love? In their division, they saw Pat Mahomes serve a 1-year apprenticeship to Alex Smith. He was a little raw coming out of Texas Tech, and then his game popped at the next level. I'm not saying that Jordan Love is a carbon copy of Pat Mahomes, but there are enough people around the league that see some similarities. So if I'm Anthony Lynn and the LA Chargers, and I'm looking for a quarterback that has tremendous potential, Jordan Love is who I have my eye on. If I can't get Tua, I am happy with Jordan Love as a consolation prize. I believe in the right situation with the right coaching, he could be a guy that is a star in the league.
Thank you, Bucky. I'd love for you to stick around for just a sec. I've got some questions about the wide receivers in the draft. For now, though, I want to welcome in Willie McGinest for more on the Chargers' plans because I know you've been in touch with someone from the team. What do you know about their intentions moving forward?
Yeah, I talked to my good friend Anthony Lynn, my old domino partner from the Cleveland days, and they're excited about Tyrod Taylor being the quarterback, and exactly what Bucky said. They're content with their situation moving forward. They believe he's a great leader. He doesn't turn the football over. They'll be able to do a little bit more in the pocket with him. That's going to put the pressure on defensive coordinators to have to defend. So they didn't get Tom Brady. I know that was disappointing, but by not getting Tom Brady, if you look at the board of all the players they were able to bring in, Trey Turner, Brian Bulaga, left tackle, Linval Joseph, defensive player, Chris Harris, another cornerback. They've made their team better. And they had a couple of holes to fill. By doing this and freeing up that money, they were able to become better as a team. But they're excited and they're very optimistic about going forward. And they think that they're gonna probably take a quarterback, like Bucky also said, in the draft. But they're confident and they love Tyrod Taylor. They think that they can have a lot of success with him at the quarterback and developing a younger guy coming in. And he's not going to turn the football over. He's going to make the plays they need him to make. And he's going to actually put pressure on defenses because his mobility in the pocket. And Anthony Lynn knows this because he's confident because he was with him in Buffalo. So he knows what he can do, and they're excited about going forward.
Well, the Chargers might not be going down this road, but there are still some free agent quarterbacks out there for other teams who are interested in signing one of them. Guys like Jameis Winston and Blake Bortles and Josh McCown and Colt McCoy. And one of those is not like the others. Jameis Winston led the league in passing yards last season. Steve Wyche and Tom Pelissero, is he going to find a home this year in free agency as a starting quarterback?
That last clause is really what changes the question there, Lindsay. As a starting quarterback, at this point, it's difficult to envision that. The New England Patriots are really the only team that has a clear opening to be their starter. And even if you're talking about opportunities to compete for the starting job, it's difficult to see right now how Jameis Winston would fit in. So really the question for him has to be, where do I have the best chance to develop and also potentially have a chance to compete come 2021 and beyond? Look at some of the teams that have older starting quarterbacks. Could he go to New Orleans? They're tied up against the salary cap, probably not a lot of money to go around. Could he go to the Pittsburgh Steelers? They have Mason Rudolph behind Ben Roethlisberger. That would be another type of situation that would make some sense. Or even the Atlanta Falcons staying in the NFC South. They've had Matt Schaub backing up Matt Ryan. Really any of those types of teams. But again, how much is Winston making? What exactly is his role this season? It's probably not as a starter. He's just got to find ways to get better and get another crack at this in the future.
Remember, former head coach Dirk Cutter is the OC in Atlanta. Jacksonville's interesting because they got rid of Foles. Gardner Minshew is there. But call me crazy, I do not think it is completely out of the realm, Tom, you just said, where he can learn and develop and possibly compete in 2021. What if he stays on in Tampa Bay? What if they are savvy enough to convince him to stay in Tampa, develop for at least a season under Tom Brady and Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich? Maybe the tweaks in the system fit his strengths a little bit better. He learns to calm some things down. So when Tom Brady does finally hang him up, which could be a year or two, Jameis is ready to take over, or maybe he can parlay this into a Teddy Bridgewater situation where he maybe comes in and plays a couple games. If Brady gets hurt, shows himself off, and then next year he gets to sign with another team as a starter.
Well, neither of those scenarios seem to be ready to pay him $100 million. So James Jones will be very disappointed with the outcome of